Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Chandra Duel between Skull playing MBAD and he's going up against Autism playing 6 Easy. So we'll cover the deck reviews, then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments in the game, and as always timestamps in the description. Okay, so this game was played as part of the SD League Season 5 group stage. I believe these guys are in Division 2 out of 5. So essentially, Marechal Autism picked Chandra and picked 6E, and the counter pick was MBAD. So that's quite surprising. There's a lot of, basically, if you want to win, you should just pick second Panzerground whenever you can, because it's the strongest division in the game. The only other one which is this also might be the strongest division in the game is 20th Polish, and as you can see, that was banned, so that was like the first ban from Skull. 4th Dutch is pretty good, Div Mob's pretty good. The Spanish Div isn't that amazing, and neither's 3rd Armoured in a 1v1. Canada, I mean, some people think it's really good. I don't really think it's that good, to tell you the truth. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's amazing either. So yeah, 6E on Chandra is interesting. So on Chandra you can go around the side and stuff. So okay, but generally you want a T-72 div on this map. And then the counter pick was MBAD, which can also go around the sides and stuff. But generally you want a T-72 div on this map. So I was quite surprised by the draft, actually. I thought that was worth talking about. So looking at the decks, we've got Skull playing MBAD. I'll admit, I've not played MBAD in a little bit. Yeah, I should revisit it, really. So, first things first, the supply tab. So you really only need 2 cards of supply. This one's forward deployed, so you pay a bit more for it, I suppose. But actually, yeah, it's just the biggest supply card, so as in per truck. Everything should be 6,000 total in a card. It didn't used to be like that, but it is now. So, okay. And then we've got we've got the same card twice, but yeah, he's gone for double sorted, so that's 6 CVs, no forward deployed CVs is actually quite surprising. Usually people like to get some forward deployed CVs out. Because, Airborne, get the forward deployment CV out and so on. So this would be 120 points, which is a lot. And this would be 90. But if you replace this with this, you'd only have 5 CVs, so I guess it makes sense not to do that. In the Inf tab, these are really good at the start of the game. They are... Yeah, one sec. So DivMob gets some as well, but are the DivMob ones forward deployed too, or... What am I looking at here? Yeah, Res Para Commando, yeah. Oh, but it's a different... Okay, so, yeah, it is Airborne forward deployed as well. It's just a different unit in the car. So, yeah, you want to get a few of these out at the start because they come with ATGMs and this thing. 2 vet in them is quite surprising. I would have thought you'd want as many of these out as possible over the course of the game, but this Paracommando is way worse than the other one. It's way worse than the DivMob one. So maybe 2 vet in it makes sense. Like all the infantry's at 2 vet. But generally, you want to spam ATGMs quite a bit. So I'm quite surprised that there's no FS Milan 2 perhaps, and then you can sort of down vet some of this infantry and get another card of Milan's, like some double Milan card. I mean, you got a Milan 1, but what about a Milan 2? And there's there's no TOW 2 vehicle here. It's quite surprising. The striker is decent, I suppose. The idea is you get to a place first and then you just spam out all the ATGMs and you sit on it. So, yeah, 2 AA guns is overkill, because I was trying to work out where the stuff went, right? So basically you do actually want this so that you don't get killed by enemy bombers and stuff. And so yeah, this is your anti-infantry, so you can get rid of this one and bring this. Just trying to work out where all the AP's gone, man. I guess it's gone here. Okay. Like I said, I don't play this one very much, but basically this is really good because it reloads really fast. That's the idea. And that's why you'd want it. This is alright in that you can shoot it from max range and evac it. And you should avoid enemy AA. You probably won't hit them, but if you just evac it as soon as it fires one, you can do pretty well with it, so I actually like it. This thing, I guess it can work, but it's got 20% ECM, and yeah. So I'm a bit... But it's like, what do you take out? Because like this isn't bad as far as bombers go, right? So you probably don't need this if you've got this. So you can replace that with the cluster one, which is pretty cool. And then what happens if you show up against a tank, right? This is a nice cheap bomber, so you don't really need this one anymore. So I like this because you could just launch one missile and evac it, and it fires from 4,400 meters away. And if you've got the seed with it, you should be all right. But the seed will probably miss, right? It's interesting they have the exact same stats, but one of them's red. And red and orange and blue, and it's like the bars change color and they're all the same thing. Oh man, whatever. So yeah, no Milan 2 is quite surprising. Like, do you need this much infantry? Probably not. Probably not. So you can get rid of something. Maybe the Paras gun group. So it's like 6 guys with 3. I don't really see the point. And then you can get the Milan 2. You can get some more ATGMs. Maybe you don't want that. But I think it's a good idea. Or you could just get rid of this and save 2 AP and put it in here and actually get the TOW 2 with good stealth, which is like, why wouldn't you want a TOW 2 with good stealth? Strikes me as a bit of an oversight. And like, I would prefer this to like, for 5 points more, you get a TOW 2 as opposed to a Milan 2. So like, and a machine gun. So obviously this carries a lot of rounds, right? But it's still got a salvo length of 1, and you know it's going to die before it shoots 9 rounds. So this is way more useful than that. Yeah, sorry, I'm sort of flipping around a bit. I've noticed one's in the truck, one's in the helicopter. I guess that makes sense. Between your satchel guys, so the para engineers lose a guy, but they actually get better weapons because the Falchion Pioneer, like 7.62 assault rifles aren't as good as 5.56 assault rifles for some reason, and 2 machine guns beats 1 machine gun, right? So yeah, also this Unimog goes at 65 kilometers and 90 kilometers an hour, whereas this goes at 60, 90. So I suppose they're pretty similar. And then the other one is this, which is 6. So this is just bad. Don't bring it. So yeah, you need the funny mortars for the cluster attack. Very funny. Between the transports, you want the faster one. All of the I mean, you don't really need the amphibious capability. And then, yeah, having the 4 howitzers is kind of a must. It used to go 4-3, and they appear to have just reverted that for reasons I don't really understand. It wasn't written down anywhere. I think it was just a mistake. So yeah, now you might, because if it was 4-3, you'd get it at 2 vet, but it's not. And then you get 36 funny IFVs. If you're playing on a map like Airport, you can swap one of these out for even more ATGMs. But yeah, now that we've got the TOW 2 Weasel, I feel a lot better about it, frankly. Recon, so this is bad, so I don't really understand why this is here. You might as well get the Scout Helm, because it's very good optics, and it's got, and it's got an ATGM on it, so that's pretty useful. LSV Milan is good for the start of the game because it goes at like 130 kilometers an hour, and it's got Milan 2 on it. This thing I don't really see the point in. I It's like for the start of the game, so you can go faster and annoy people and like go around corners and stuff. Maybe it is useful, but I don't know. I personally would rather take that out and then get something else in here. Um, yeah, like get 6 more, like get some strikers or something. But yeah, if it works, I mean, we'll see it in the game, right? Alternatively, a scimitar, pretty useful. Get some auto cannons in there. It's also pretty speedy off road, so it can go through forests. Although obviously this is better. Pathfinders are a must bring. They're very good. They've got 4 machine guns, but they do have to be stood still to use them. Even though it says 12% motion accuracy, that's just another idiosyncrasy with the game. This one has to be stood still to be fired. And then, yeah, these guys for sort of, Panzerfaust 3 recon, we spoke about this. So we spoke about this tab. This one is good for the start because it's airborne forward deployment, 100 kilometers an hour, so you send it out at the start, and yeah, you might as well upvet that. Yeah, Minstrel's very useful. No need to upvet. And yeah, 4-2, okay. If it was 4-3-2 or something, then I don't know, but yeah, I do think bringing the Darkfires is better than bringing the Sky Guards. Helis, so Link's Hellarm, he's actually brought the cheap one, and I don't really understand, because this can't one-shot a 3 armor vehicle, and if you're going up against MBAD, if you're going up against 6E in a tournament game, right, they're gonna have 4 armor AMX 10 RCs, so you want this because it'll one-shot them. Alternatively, you could bring this one if you want 6 of them, but obviously it's got less HP, right? And it would still one-shot the 4 armor guys pretty easily. You need 18. 16 will only one-shot 2 armor at 10 HP. So, yeah, I think this is a better shout against the AMX 10 RCs. Although maybe the idea is just so you can have loads of helos to fly around, but also this will one-shot the 2 armor. This will one-shot the 4 armor tanks. And now you've got 3 more, so you've got 7 instead of 6 now. So, these are not very good ASFs, and we sort of spoke about this tab at length. Sort of nothing. Switching to his opponent, we've got Autism playing as 6E, a division I think isn't very amazing. I think it's kind of weak, to tell you the truth, but hey. So yeah, 2 cards to supply kind of makes sense for this div because you've just not got a huge amount of RT, and if you turn off fuel and stuff, you should be fine. So 3, 4, 5, 7 CVs, which is all good. Do you find you're bringing this many tanks? So that's 12 plus 10, that's 22 tanks. 22... Okay, so 140 times... Sorry, I guess you guys can't see the calculator. But 140 times by 12 is 1,680. 1,680 plus so 1,100. So that's like 10 minutes worth of... Okay, I suppose that's within the realm of possibility, actually. But, like, you could try upvetting some of these, but... Generally, so I just run 2 cards of ATGMs in this tab, so I'd have 1 less of these, and then I bring the P4 Milan Legion, which gets a rank of veterancy for 5 points, and Resolute. Resolute doesn't really matter for it, but the 5% accuracy for 5 points I think is worth it, personally. So, yeah, sorry, switching back to the infantry tab. Yeah, there's no reason to bring these guys, right? Because these guys get a rank of vet, they get more availability and resolute for 5 points. So you can see, so they're getting a rank of vet for 5 points. Do you see? And they get resolute. So that's pretty cool. Having the infantry at 2 vet is interesting. Keep in mind that if you brought them at 1 vet, because that's 15, right? And then this would be 14, and then you save 3 AP. Which lets you get another plane, which I think is more useful, frankly. Because what happens if what are you gonna do against an enemy heavy tank? Having said that, we're on tournament rules, and he knows he's against MBAD, so there's not gonna be an enemy tank. But what you could do is fill out this air tab more because, hello, MBAD, terrible, terrible air and anti-air options generally, right? Bad fighters and so on. So that's my MBAD. I'm trying to find my 6E. Yeah, I bring the double LGBT, the seed, and the rocket. So I just absolutely stack this out. Uh, but I need to play it a bit more. I don't know if these group anti-char are a good idea. I don't know if these escorty PC are a good idea. I'd probably bring a 762 team instead of that these days. Because yeah, like how do you kill infantry? I suppose you rely on this lot. I suppose. Legion Sappers, Legion, Flam, I think are pretty terrible actually. They the just the flamethrowers are very underwhelming at the moment, and they have been for quite a long time, like upwards of a year. So yeah, I just bring the regular Sappers, and you know, there you go. Yeah, Milan 2. You could bring the Legion Milan 2. Like, why not? That'd be 5 points more for a rank of veterancy and Resolute. Resolute doesn't really matter. But the rank of veterancy applies to both the Milan in the vehicle and the Milan here. So why not do that? And then you've got 5% more accuracy on this Milan and 5% more accuracy on this Milan for 5 points without compromising availability. And you've got Resolute, which helps against suppression, which actually for an infantry Milan team does matter a little bit because generally people shoot back. um, so yeah, I think that's a good idea. And yeah, artillery. So this is basically a Caesar howitzer, but towed. And okay, and then between these two, you've brought the Milan Legion, which yeah, you're paying 5 points for one rank of accuracy and resolute, which helps if you get counter batteried, I suppose. So I think that's worth it. And yeah, so this might be where the just trying to figure out where all the points have gone, man. No Crotal. Basically, obviously, like the final result of like the deck thing is just copy my deck, bro. But I think Air Bully as 6E actually makes a lot of sense because, especially against MBAD, so you want to get to a situation where you have this air tap, and I'm trying to figure out how to get there. So no Vab Milan, but the Milan Legions kind of substitute, so you could trade one for the other. And yeah, you need the dinosaurs. No recon helo's a bit rough, but you've got the drone. One less in here. Yeah, so yeah. Um so like this is a 3 point slot for 4 Milan 2s. It's got very good optics, sure, but you've got very good optics here, very good optics here. You could downvet this one and get rid of that. And you've got these now. And yeah, the Spahis are alright, but like these guys, the Dinops are better because they've got airborne forward deployed at 100 kilometers an hour, whereas these guys are airborne forward deployed at 90 kilometers an hour. So the idea is you buy them together. You buy one of these with the crap, and then you can kill the infantry, like, because the other one does the tanking. This gets there first, and then it can throw a smoke grenade. And if you can micro them properly, it's basically an unbeatable little combination. It's obviously quite expensive, so you can't do that everywhere. The Spahis, I mean, you can bring them at 1 vet if you want. And yeah, the drone is a must bring. AA, so right, so for starters, right, so you've got the Minstrel in the VAB T20, right, so you got Minstrels, so you don't really need this. So you can swap it out for the Crow Tower, which you do need. And this is only a single gun, it's not a double gun. If it was a double gun, it'd be way better. But it's a single gun, so it's actually not that good. So you don't really want that. And now you've got loads of AP spare. Yes, Gazelle Hot 2 and Gazelle Cannon at 2 vet. It's very sensible. You want it at 2 vet because it makes it shoot way faster and it makes it like almost twice as accurate. And now you can bring the Seed and the LGBT. And Where's that last point coming from on my end? Where's that last point coming from on my end? Do I just run 3 CVs or 5 CVs or something? I might do. Oh, now it's all gone all weird. This is the worst deck review ever, man. What? How do I get it back? Where'd it go? So now you've got 2 AP spare, and you can put that tank card back in if you want, right? Or you can have. Yeah, that was it. So you put the CV in here. Now it's 50. Now you got 2, 4, 7 CVs, and then you take the CV out of here. Now you've got a +3, and then you can put the LGBT in. Because my idea behind 6E, and maybe this is wrong, is that you're supposed to play super wide and attack on the left, and then come around and attack on the right and do that. And the best way, so if you're doing that, what you should be doing is, using air to kill the things on the flanks because there won't be much AA there, right? And so that's an idea. I mean, you don't have to listen to any of this. You can just do whatever you were doing before. So let's cast the game. Right, so as you know from that deck review segment, this was played as part of a tournament game, and 6E was the first pick and MBAD was the counter pick. I'm quite surprised by the picks on this map. Typically, I think T-72 and T-55 divs are really strong here, and even like 2nd Panzergren was open. 2nd Panzergren's good anywhere, anytime. It's the strongest division in the game. So it's quite surprising to me that these are the picks. But you can sort of understand the logic, right? I've not asked the players, but I can understand the logic is probably map super wide, lots of places to go around, pick a highly mobile div, attack on the left, come round, attack on the right. 6E is kind of a weak div, to tell you the truth. The tanks don't have any armor, and they're not actually that fast. Like an M1A1's faster. T80BV is faster than these. Even the AMX-30B2 on 5E is faster than the AMX-10 RCs off-road. On-road, the AMX-10 RCs are faster. So you've got to play 6E in a very interesting way. You basically, you just swing around to the right with all the wheeled tanks, shoot a bit, and then as soon as if you break through, great. But the idea is just make sure the tanks don't die and make sure you're shooting the baddies. Typically, because you've only got 4 armor, it's kind of hard to keep the tanks alive. But the idea is usually an enemy tank at max range will not one-shot you. I'm pretty sure something like a H.A. Abrams or a H.A. Abrams at max range would probably one-shot you. But for the most part, you tend to survive hits with 1 HP left. Most ATGMs will kill you in 1 hit, though, so you got to watch out for those. And once you start getting bogged out, you literally just smoke a lot and then just pull back, and you literally just come back here and you just go all the way to the other side of the map using the cars, and then you attack this way. It's quite a funny way to play. And MBAD is basically get to places first and then put 10 Guerrillian ATGMs there and then just sit there with your ATGMs. So so we'll see whose philosophy wins. So yeah, in terms of the deployments, we've got Marechal doing sending something to the side, and then the dismounting here, and then sending the vehicle up. So yeah, this is the idea. That I'm pretty sure this is why they're picking these lighter divs. So you can try and use the sides. Lots of people have seen me play on this map lots of times, and I always attack around the sides. So if you want to watch that, you would click on the channel, go to the live tab, and just look for all the Warno live games. I'm on this map basically constantly in tournaments because I like it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's well balanced. It's a fun map. So then a VBL Milan go into here, and that's got the recon as well. Then these AA guns, I just don't think were a particularly good idea, because they're not the double fire AA guns. They're not the Svillinger. They've only got one thing, so they're actually significantly worse. They're significantly worse. So I don't think that's a good idea, really, to bring those as anti-infantry. So yeah, AA gun in there, CV. Then we've got 3 more AA guns. We'll see how useful these are. Vab Milan, but it's not the Legion one for some reason. Sparhees, recon, Sparhees, infantry recon. Then, so no crap, which is really weird because they're the airborne forward deployed guys, and he's actually got them in the deck, so I'm quite surprised by this. The triple Gazelle Celtic opener is pretty common, although these are a little bit too close together. You want them a little bit more spread out than that. Not too much though. And then we've got more Sparhees, 2 AMX-10 RC Recons, Legion Eclairs, Legion 20mm, AA guns, AA guns, AA guns, 2 CVs. And this one's trying to go around the sides, but he's picked a really dumb road. If he just came this way, he could get there a lot faster, because this is still going to go down that road. But I suppose, yeah, my way, you would cross here. So you would just come down this road, cross here, and then go there. Switching to the opponent's deployment, we've got Skull playing as MBAD, which recently won a 2v2 tournament, so I guess it's not so bad. MG3, 2 there. VAD's AA is a lot better at doing that anti-infantry job than these things are. But, you know, this is 30 points. I'm pretty sure this is 50, yeah. And LSV in Milan. And those are mega fast. Actually, this is like really kind of calm as far as deployments go. This one is the sort of thing that you could send... Well, actually, because it's got to... That's where you want to cover, so... But, like, if you really wanted to, you could get here first, I'm pretty sure. You might not. Scorpion, which I really don't understand why this is in the deck. Then, in mid, we've got more MGs... More MGs. It's weird because he's got forward deployment, but he's actually playing quite That is obviously not great, so hopefully he spots that. Otherwise, this is going to come around here and everybody's going to see him. He's going to slowly trundle over there. Paracommandos, and this is a Milan launcher. Okay, so yeah, you take this and you can get in here. That's an idea. Some AA and another LSV Milan going to here. Then a Sultan. And on the right, okay, so the attack is going on Foxtrot. So, anti-infantry, paracommando. Honestly, like, because basically the turning and being in the forest is going to waste you a lot of time. So I would just unload it here and then path it to there, just so you make sure your infantry doesn't die if this dies. But yeah, this is in cover, so it's not as big a deal. Milan 1, Paramilan 1. Because, yeah, there's no infantry Milan 2s, which I was quite surprised by. Javelin LML, LSV, Recon 50 cals, which I don't, we'll see if they're useful, basically. And an ATGM one. So, let's see what happens. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One join at the lowest levels with 2,000 views in ad revenue equivalents, and for that reason, channel joiners make up just under 80% of this channel's revenue. I think it's about 75% of this channel's revenue comes from the channel joiners. Ad revenue on YouTube is pretty terrible unless you're getting 1 million hits a video or something. So, didn't spot this drone here. It did get nerfed. It's slower now, and it's got only 20% hidden ECM instead of 50, but it still says 0 here. So we'll see what happens. The AMTP LML should probably kill that if they get in range. Did I finish shilling yet? This is my sole source of income. I think I said that. But yeah, I really do appreciate it. Thanks for watching the videos. Every like, every comment, every view is 1 extra second that I don't have to get a real job. So that's nice, isn't it? But yeah, these things are pretty crazy in that they just give you vision over everything. So it's always worth buying one near the start and just sending it out. Although I think it might die now because this has pretty good accuracy, and that's only got 20% ECM now. But radar stuff still can't shoot it. It's one of the reasons why it's so strong. So like a Cub couldn't shoot that. So basically, the 6E players put all these guys here, and that was facing the wrong way. But it turns out the attacks come in here, and there's nothing here. So what he needs to do is basically just relocate his guys. But I don't think he's doing that. So this rocket plane is actually not that good. Like, if you fire all 16 of these at that, it doesn't die. And it's got 4 HP, so... You know, it makes you think. But yeah, the Milan 2's cleaning up, so I don't really see the point in these. The 50 cal ones, anyway. And yeah, you'd think Marechal the autism, right? He'd do something with all this, but they're all towed guns and he's unloaded them, so these are all being sold now, and he's putting more stuff here, even though the attack's here, so quite surprising. He's getting around the sides there, which is not great if you're blue. It's only got good optics, and what would you be spotting anyway? Because there's no heavy artillery, sort of massive backline AA stuff you want to kill, stuff like that. So this guy could reverse maybe, but he has full faith in his colleague on the LML, and that pays off. And it's going pretty well for MBAD so far. He's not capped these two, but the point is that he's got Foxtrot, and he's probably got Echo, especially given that Marshall is still reinforcing this side instead of, like, why are these going here? Why haven't these other things been relocated? I just had a weird... there's something wrong with my monitor. It just keeps freaking out occasionally. Still seems to be working. So the Spar, he's not in range to shoot with the Sultan. The VADS is very good against the infantry. Typically, you don't want to sell the transport these are in if they're... especially if you're on the offense, like, you need to move it up, basically. So that's interesting. I mean, it won't... If somebody's coming down here, it's not going to be able to do too much. But I guess one problem at a time. But yeah, these Gurkhas could go in here and start messing with this. These have a minimum range, but it's 250 meters, not 350, so they can still fire in deep forest, which is a bit nonsensical, really. I don't really see the point. So, as you can see, two of them together against a stationary target do tend to do a bit, but if that was a VADS, he wouldn't have got... If that was one VADS, he wouldn't have got away, basically. Whereas because it was two of these, he got away, so... And as you can see, look, he just landed next to him. Oh, man, these are not good. Take them out your deck. So the Gurkha rifles need to land, or they're going to get smacked. But I think the VADs might mess up this Mirage, just evac it, basically. Okay, it's still going, but the LML is going to engage now, and two more VADs. So it's probably going to get evac from this LML round. There it goes. But yeah, the Legion guy... the Gurkhas just run at him, they should just kill him. So this isn't a good spot, because it can shoot down there now, and you notice the tank CV died, right? So you'll notice he's just sort of driving past him. That's how much respect he has for this AAPs. If that was a Zwillinger, 2nd Panzergrenz Zwillinger, it'd probably kill all this. So, yeah, it's not very good. I mean, it's still, as you can see, it's still take off half the HP of these Gurkha rifles. And somehow its engine has been destroyed, even though it's pushed around by people. Like, don't get me wrong, towed AA guns are still pretty stupid against infantry. Doesn't matter which one they are. But there are good ones and there are bad ones, and the bad ones, in my opinion, aren't really worth bringing. I'd rather have, you know, an infantry 50 cal team there or something. Infantry MMG team, you know? So, Gurkha rifles coming in, and they're helo deployable, right? And you'll notice the other stuff coming around. Because, yeah, you want to get, like... well, I mean, having an ATGM there is great, but, like, another one, basically. If you put it here, you can shoot even further down the road. But yeah, that's at 3 vet, so it's got 65% accuracy. Still misses, though, surprisingly. And we do not know how many targets this VADS killed before it went down, but as you can see, it did claim some victims. It is better, but it does cost more. It's almost twice as much, so that makes sense. So Jaguar HE might get 2 kills here. And it almost does. I mean, it killed the Gurkha rifles, which is the important one. So that was probably worth it. But if instead of buying this, he'd bought 2 more AMX-10 RCs and, like, got down here and taken this, that would be cool. But that's not the case. So, yeah, blue needs to these I would send to Delta, really. Because you've got this. I mean, you've got 2 zones here. Maybe that's the idea, that I can afford to give this one up if I can keep 2 over here. So I should reinforce over here, something like that. But yeah, this AA gun deployment from the 6E players just really not done him any favours. People are just running into them and killing them. It's not... They're not that strong. It's the wrong one. Yeah, the lack of, like, you know, tanks and stuff. It's not ideal. So Gurkha rifles coming in here. I assume they'll be able to land. It's just you want to give this like a take-off or like a shift right-click order. Otherwise, you might have problems with it. Because yeah, this is only an... It's 2 MMGs. If it was like 2 HMGs, it'd be a really big problem. Okay, so we smoked it. He's on defensive, so I don't know if that was automatic or what. Gazelle Celtics might kill this, but chances are they're just going to die now, yeah. I don't really like these very much, because you only get 3 in a card, and it's so easy for them to just all die, and there goes a whole card of stuff, and it doesn't really give you too much. Yeah, but yeah, the Gurkha Rifle's probably going to waste everything in here. F4F doesn't have any missiles left, so I'm not sure what he's doing. Trying to shoot him with the guns, I guess, trying to scare him. But the Celtics are probably going to kill this now because they've got plenty of time to shoot. And, oh, they only actually got 2 shots off. Because, yeah, they got a turn and stuff, so... Oh, it does end up going down. So I was right, haha. So +5, +6 to blue now because he's coming here as well. And you see these AA guns, so not useful. So not useful. So yeah, the MBAD pick... pretty successfully dismantling the 6E player. So the Jaguar HE lost vision on the Sultan. Although, you know, Red's doing his own counterattack. He got into Delta here, so that's cool. But there is a CV here that could just be brought over, and given that the AMX-10RC is dead, you'll notice he's using this for vision, which is pretty smart. On this side, there's a P4 PC in here. I don't know how long it's going to stay there. The Legionnaire should kill the Scimitar. And the Jaguar HE claims another victim. So, oh yeah, I said you should bring a recon scimitar. I guess that doesn't make sense if you've got 12 regular scimitars. Could be another plane then, maybe, I don't know. Some infantry recon. But yeah, the 50 cal M2 HB ones, I don't really see the point of them. So, Legionnaires should lose to Gurkha Rifles, because not only are the Gurkha Rifles at 3 vet, but they also have more HP, and both sides are resolute. The DMR can fire in the forest, apparently. It does have a minimum range of, like, I think about 200 meters, something like that. It might be less. So yeah, you see the Gurkha Rifles are actually pretty good. Which makes it all the more funnier when they were struggling against this bad AA gun. So in this situation, you'd expect the Gurkha Rifles to lose that, but these fights never happen in isolation, and reinforcements will be arriving. But yeah, these guys need to be in a building. Look how fast they're dying. Legionnaires really aren't very bad. Really aren't bad at all. So will the VADs kill the CV? No, it's going on the VBL Milan. It's a shame, really. If it went on the CV, it'd kill it. Not sure what it means by I'm looking that way. Oh, weird. Maybe it can't see the CV. I don't know. Because it's not shooting and it's not got good optics. Might not have been able to see it. Oh, okay, so he's sending it. Will it even fire? Because it's right behind the building. Oh yeah, it does get it. It does get it. It's only got 4 HP there, so... Just get that kill. AEMTP hasn't been brought into safety. The LSV Milan's going to run out of rounds soon, but if it hits one of these, it's going to kill it. And it doesn't hit because of the smoke, probably. But you see, like, look, it engages a 4-armor vehicle. That's how powerful it is. Anyway, the Spahis are just going to clean out this Sultan. He's just going to get into the range, and I don't think he'll get in the zone. Depends if the first one misses or not. Oh, he missed, okay. Well, so he gets in the zone, and then he survives the first... Oh, I thought this was a... Okay. I'm thinking of the ones on 11E, the new unit for 11E. Can't remember what it's called. I thought it was Spahis, but it's clearly not. There's a new unit in 11E, which is French recon guys, and they've got Atlas. Hussards, that was it. So, yeah, it's looking pretty comfortable for blue. Although, you know, red is almost taking this back, so stuff is happening. The legions, you know, and he's getting back in here, so his CV is going to get into golf, and then it'll just be a +1. And then when he resecures Foxtrot, it'll be a +0. So there you go. He can stabilize, and, you know, late game, I think 6E's got the advantage, because the tank should just slowly whittle down the ATGMs. Depends how much attention you're paying, basically. If you're not paying attention, the ATGMs are going to beat the tanks. And that's why a lot of weaker players claim that, you know, ATGMs are broken and all this, so it's because they just can't deal with it. So... okay. There goes that Legion, it's quite expensive. But yeah, the Milan 1 cannot one-shot these, because this has 4 armor, so that's why you need the Milan 2. So, it's an interesting bombing run. Gazelle Celtics claim a victim. Sorry, they broke something in this patch, which means that on replays it just doesn't show you the deaths here. They did tell me they'd fix it, though. So, you know, in the next patch or whatever, it'll be fixed, I suppose. So, yeah, Paras are in the forest, so they're going to get a big advantage there from being in the forest. But the Legionnaires, you know, they've got more guys. They've got the DMR imparts a huge amount of suppression on people, as you can see. The DMR does a lot of suppressing, and you can see the Paras are getting absolutely messed up there. So, okay, another Helo bites the dust. And, yeah, the VADs do a little bit of suppression, but... generally, just because of the aim time, like, they take so long aiming that they tend not to get a long burst off. Unless it's, like, a really slow plane. Which I guess kind of makes sense, given what it is. So, but yeah, you see it generally does a lot of suppression. The main thing is anti-infantry, anti-helo. But yeah, if your enemy just repeatedly flies over you in circles, then he's going to get evac'd. So, don't do that, kids. So, yeah, these rockets are really weird. Like, they're not actually that good. I do still bring it, but they're not actually that amazing. Against anything armoured, it won't do anything, but... yeah, it is weird. Anyway, the tick has stopped, but Blue basically has Foxtrot again, right? They're just waiting for the CV to show up, although it's going over here for some reason. Okay. But yeah, Red's still got some really nice vision set up, and this one can shoot. So that's cool. Typically you'd want it like here, so that you can get side shots and rear shots exclusively. And I suppose this is mostly side shots, but you're quite close to the enemy, so they might see you and kill you. Whereas if you're here, they're not going to see you. Unless they're like mega recon. So, will Skull notice that he's being shot? Because this hasn't been put on return fire, so it's just engaging the trucks. So, Jaguar HE goes on the Skyguard. Remember, there's no Rapier Rapier Darkfires in Skull's deck. So he's gonna, you know, he's having trouble against the Red Air. The main reason he's had some success with this is because the Red Air keeps flying in circles around his VADs. But yeah, his planes can't really catch him. Although if you get a plane back here, you can just spawn your short-range fighter and it'll actually have an advantage here because it's in range. And so it can fire 2 missiles at once in range, and it tends to win, actually. But you gotta make... what you do is you wait for him to be facing the other way. But yeah, this is pretty smart behaviour. Wait for the bomber to come in and shoot it, but yeah, the short-range fighters can counter that. So... yeah, just waiting for that CV to show up, but it's over here for some reason. It's about to run out of fuel, so I guess not. Wow, something actually died. Oh, that was the truck that carried the Minstrel on the retreat, because this isn't the original truck the Minstrel came in. This is, so for some reason he sent it here and he's just loaded it into the other truck by accident. He probably meant to shoot these. So, don't think that killed anything. That's yeah, okay, I mean, he was aiming for the wrong place, I suppose. So there's not actually anybody here. Here specifically. So, 105's coming out now. 6E gets some not a decent arty, it's just its towed, so you have to manually control it. But yeah, I think Blue needs a couple more pivots, especially given the lack of... because yeah, you just put a Rapier Darkfire in there, and then you stop having these problems, basically. You gotta move it around after it shoots and stuff. Like, one here, one here, I guess, because you don't really want to put it here. One here, something like that. One here, one here. So, another attack is taking place, and the 50 cals Doing alright. Like, if this... Because you got to react, right? The whole point of this division is that these things go at 100 kilometers an hour on the roads. So you see this happening, you just spin them round and bring them round here and kill everything. And then you could go do what you were going to do before. So that's the idea behind the division, the mobility. And if you don't play around that mobility, then there's no point playing this division. You might as well play... And the same is true for both of these divs, really. But 6E especially, it's like, well, why play this over 5E? It's literally just because the AMX-10 RCs are faster on the roads. And they're not even that much faster, they're like 20% faster, so... They're 20 kilometers an hour faster. Which is 25% of 80, so... Yeah, you see, I saw how fast the Vads killed that. That was a full squad, by the way. It's a lot better than those other ones. Only one of whom remains. Minstrel going down there's pretty rough. And yeah, this is it's cool using the mobility. But in the meantime, you know, the Sultan's coming over here and yeah. You know, sometimes you do have to defend. You can also attack, right? It is cool. You can defend by attacking somewhere else, but you still need to sort this out, right? Unless you take two of these, if he's on this, it's bad for you, so... You do have to sort it out. So, Gazelle cannons, I think one went down there, maybe even two. Using the jet to shoot the Vads is not a bad idea, actually. Because the Vads can't aim it enough, but you got to be able to see it, right? Because I'm pretty sure this is just going to miss now. And it's not going to do anything, so, yeah. Oh. Okay. Yeah, these have side missiles on them, so... He pulled it off because he was worried about this thing coming around, but the Minstrel here hit him, and yeah, he's getting more Minstrels now. He's not unloaded his arty yet. I suppose this Mirage Bomber could be used on the Legions... But there's a jet up and he's not evac'd it, he's leaving it in, and this is a big mistake, man. You're going to lose that. So yeah, that's... Oh, okay. Okay. Hit both of those as well, so... As you can see, this rocket plane is very, very niche. There's a reason it's 3 per card. Generally, you would just send it out, you know, later in the game, you send it out ahead of the bomber, basically. You know, to get shot so that the bomber can kill the enemy AA. Because, yeah, if you don't know exactly where they are, it literally does nothing, so it's not ideal. The advantage is it reloads super fast, unless it gets damaged, in which case it reloads in like 4 minutes, because it has to repair. Like, that'll take about 4 minutes. If it goes to 1 HP, I think it's about 8 minutes, so... Yeah, that's the advantage. It reloads super fast. That's why you keep seeing him come around. But he's taking a lot of hits here, actually. He's not losing the planes, but he's taking a lot of hits. Gets a nice double kill there, but all of his planes just got damaged. Like four planes or so got damaged there, so we're not going to be seeing them all for about 5 minutes. Double Sky Guard is interesting. Yeah, this Sparhy is interesting. I mean, if he sends it there, the Paras are just going to wreck it, so... I guess he wants it here to shoot stuff coming down the road. And he thinks the Gurkha rifles are dealt with, so it doesn't matter. This guy's firing his last rocket, make it count Ramirez. And you see that even though this has a worse payload, it actually reloads slower because it's just done off a number of rockets, not the size of the bombs or anything. It's so dumb. Anyway, this really needs to evac. I'm not sure what the plan is here. It's got 160 rounds in the gun. Is that really what he wants it for? Looks like it's just there to soak up rounds or something. But yeah, blue's on the +2. Paris Scorpion's coming out now. I'll be honest, the AMX-10 RCs are pretty much designed to deal with this trash light spam, because they fire super fast from long range with good accuracy. Oh, you saw that, right? He tried to smoke the corner and get in, and Lore 80 got him here, so... That's why you need the self-propelled smoke mortars, which this division gets. Which, incidentally, MBAD does not get. It's actually very useful. Because that helps you with your attacks. You can literally set... Everything's wheeled. Everything is on wheels. Or, you know, like, this comes in on a wheeled thing, right? Wheeled transport brings this. And so you can get around super quick. So... these guys don't have AT, so down they go. This Sparhe's is in a really interesting spot. I mean, it's killed something. So the Paras haven't seen it yet, so... Okay, he must have seen that. He must have seen that. It is running away. In the meantime, Mariniers are good against infantry because they have 3 machine guns, but they do have 1 Uzi, which reduces the effectiveness. So the Sky Guards, you know, they are good against infantry as well. It's just a Gepard gun, basically, a towed Gepard. But they're more expensive than the Veds, and they're a bit worse against the infantry. But they're better against planes. They aim faster because they've got radar. But they remain unseedable, which is a really dumb bug. It's been in the game for a long time. Buccaneer HE apparently is a high-altitude bomber. Wow, that makes me want to bring it even less. So, I was like mid-altitude, took like 6 or 7 seconds for that to land there. Looks like Red's gonna get in here, but in the meantime... oh man, the Scorpion train has left the station. And they have very poor motion accuracy, but it doesn't really matter. Well, okay, he's going to stop and shoot him. That's fair enough, really. Sultan could smoke here. It does. And he needs, yeah, just bring one of these up. Just click this over to here and it would kill it. But yeah, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's like 9 seconds, dude. It's crazy. That's like tornado levels of slow. It's the same as the tornado, yeah. So, yeah, they just moved. So I don't like that one, really. I'd rather get the LGBTs and the Seed and the AT planes. This is making me want to play MBAD, actually. Do think I've got a bit of time. We'll see. Depends if this lasts another 15 minutes or not. So, I mean, at this point, Red's completely scuppered, mate. I mean, it's only got this in here. This has ran out of bullets. And the LML's finally being brought up here. One of them, at least. And, you know, the Marinas could run up. But, yeah, this Scorpion gravy train is just... You know, it's gone straight through here. Now the Sultan can just fast path over there. Because he knows it's open. In the meantime, that got a helo of some description. Might get this rocket plane. You'll note the rocket plane has 30% ECM. That is the advantage of bringing it. You send it out ahead of your regular bombers, and it's actually got pretty decent ECM. But yeah, the AA net here is it's enough to rout these planes at least. Tends not to kill them. And yeah, these guys, they don't have AT. So even if they unload, wow, 3 misses, very exciting. And he's right-clicked as well, but okay, he gets it. So, yeah, now he's in this one. Pretty crazy game, I've got to tell you. So, the Legion gets missed. Scorpion's out here, taking out the Pamellas. Yeah, this is looking pretty Jova for the 6E player. It's weird, because I think 6E is actually in a decent position to beat MBAD. Because of the fact that these, like, the Parascorpions, the Parascimitars, you know, the Weasels, they all die to the AMX-10 Sublindes. And you can negate MBAD's really good forward deployment with your wheeled stuff. But it's weird that he picked MBAD to counter 6E. Well, I suppose that, you know, they've got a lot of similarities. It's weird that he picked MBAD to counter 6E when in reality I feel like 6E should be pretty good against MBAD. Because you get nice infantry as well. And you get, you know, nice air tab on 6E, which you can't really do anything about as MBAD. He finally bought the crap. Still +2 to blue. Sultan's just chilling out here, about to run out of fuel. Jaguar HE, I think, claimed another victim there. Skyguard might kill him here. Oh no, he gets out. So, Jaguar rocket. No, never mind. Yeah. 2 minutes left. So now you use the rocket to hit where that came from. something like that. He's trying to use them against the Scorpions. You'll see how much it doesn't do against these Scorpions, hopefully. It's just literally going to do nothing to him. It's just pretty sad. Oh, it died. So he just hits the... Well, okay, well, it actually did a decent amount there. Took off about half the HP with about half of the salvo, so maybe it would kill it. I don't think it would, but maybe it would. So, the Pisto Legion, trying to engage this supply, and there's either the surrender or he ran out of time. I think he surrendered there. Yeah, it was a surrender. So, I'm surprised the KD was so close. It kind of looked like Blue had it in the bag for the whole game, but the KD was pretty close, actually. So, this is Skull, rank 132. And this is Marechal Autism, rank 92. So, they're pretty similarly ranked players. 496 games, 543 games. So there you go, and you know this was the SD League tournament, and you know if you don't have to have 3,000 games in Warno to play in the SD League tournament. They just put you in one of the lower divisions, and there's like 5 divisions. It is basically Warno's biggest tournament, so you should check that out. Just ask around on the official Eugen Discord, and there'll be a link there, or I think my Discord's usually linked in the description, so you can just ask there and somebody will link you or something like that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that cast. Interesting matchup. And I'll see you in the next game. GG.